Hi, this is Eli and Bushrod Webb talking to you about our recent effort to do major apple crisp recipes. We just want you to know that they were a fundamental failure. We just didn't succeed. We made major blunders in each one of them, well, except for Eli's, because Eli's came out the best. But we decided that we would go ahead and put it up on YouTube so that everyone would get an idea of what a good failure is all about. So we hope that you enjoy it. Hi, how are you this beautiful Christmas afternoon? Eli is with me, and today we are going to do 3 different apple crisp recipes, and then we'll taste and see which one we like best. All of these recipes will be online for you to look at, and we'll put on our website and on YouTube, where they can be found. The ingredients are pretty much common in all of them. In the apples, there's apple cider, cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla, lemons, and sugar, either brown or white or a combination. In the crisp is brown sugar and white sugar and flour and oatmeal, maple syrup, and butter. Now, not every recipe has all of those in it, and we'll let you know which are which, but those are the ingredients you're going to need to make them. The 3 recipes we're doing, number 1 is one from America's Test Kitchen, their apple crisp recipe with a few of my own modifications. Number 2 is Eli's favorite apple crisp recipe. And number 3 is my mother's apple crisp recipe from around 1930. And those are the 3 we're going to do today. Well, the first recipe is the one from America's Test Kitchen, and it does it a little differently than most other recipes. This one, you cook the apples for a bit of time, then you put them in the pan and put the topping on, and then in the oven. I have here cooking 6 apples, 3 Ida Reds and 3 Northern Spies, with some cinnamon and a dash of nutmeg, along with a reduction of apple cider from 16 ounces to 4 ounces. Well, this is mistake number 1. The reduction was not reduced enough, meaning too much liquid. This is at the heart of the failure of this recipe. And some lemon juice. Now, the lemon juice was already on them because I put it on the apples to keep them from turning brown. So that's cooking there. In the meantime, the pan is in here with 2 tablespoons of butter on it, melting and getting hot when we're ready to put the old thing in there. So Eli and I are going to make the topping for this recipe, and then we'll put it in the oven, and while that's cooking, we will make the other 2 recipes at the same time. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, that's it. Well, Eli and I are working on this first recipe from America Test Kitchen. On the stove, the apples are bubbling away for 10 minutes, and then they'll be ready to go in the oven. We're going to make the topping right now. Well, I think we have all the ingredients. Let's check them out, Eli.
Okay.
Okay. You've got the flour. You're not putting nuts in this because Eli's allergic to nuts. Oats, brown sugar, white sugar, cinnamon. I haven't done the salt yet. Salt, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. The salt is right. Where is the salt? Right here.
Salt right there. Yep.
Salt is right there. There's the salt. Now for the butter. Why don't you stir this up a little bit? Are you ready?
I am. And is this cold butter?
It's cold. It's at room temperature, approaching room temperature. I didn't quite get it out in time.
Okay.
But it is not cold right out of the fridge. The more at room temperature, the better.
Mistake number 2. This is yours, Tom. Use very cold butter to keep the crisp crispy.
That's for all the butter. And there's about the same amount of butter that goes in all 3 recipes.
Yeah.
Now, my suggestion is to use your hands, but I also have a
Just want to coat it.
baster. Do I? You want
I'm fine to use hands, but Just getting it coated.
Okay. The next step is that we fill the pan. The other recipes are much simpler. This one has a lot more ingredients in it, and it has more steps in it. Okay.
Okay.
Pour this into here.
Oh,
Can you reach?
sides. Oop.
Good.
That is that.
Okay. Now Eli's got about the butter done. I think that's great the way it is.
Good.
You go wash your hands and I'll put this on here. Now, I've never known a crisp recipe where there was enough crisp. So almost always I double the recipe for the crisp because it just makes sense to have more crisp. So if you have a favorite recipe and you have enough crisp, that's fine. If you always say, there's never enough crisp, just double the recipe. Worst happens, you don't use it all. Let's put this one down here, put that to the side.
To catch if it boils? Or is that going on top of it directly?
What?
Is that to catch if it boils over, or is it
Yes,
going directly
catch
on
it.
top?
Catch it with boil.
There we go.
Can you turn that?
Okay.
Okay, that goes in the oven until it's nice and crispy, about 20 minutes. Alexa, 20-minute crisp timer.
And there. Okay.
Well, we have number one in the oven. It's in there for 20 minutes. We're not going to peel the apples for the other two, which will be a mixture of apples, and Eli will peel the Northern Spies, and I'll peel the Romas. We'll put them together and make them out. And Eli and I decided to do this because we both love apple crisp. We have different recipes, and we thought we'd try to find out which one is better, if we could find one. Now, we didn't vary the apples. We could have varied the apples. We could have had Granny Smith and Golden Delicious and other apples like that. But we decided this wasn't a test of apples, this was a test of the recipe. So I was able to find the last Ida Reds and Northern Spies in Northern Michigan that hadn't been bought already, put in the cellar. And so I bought them yesterday at the local outside market. It was in this last week of operation. And I got them all these apples for $7. I was really excited about that. Margaret goes through the store and picks out things she wants and says, "Here, give these to me." I said, "I don't like to do that. I want to make up my own gift." She says, "No, buy this for me. This is great. You just give this to me." So she's got 10 things down there in the basement that I have to wrap from me to her that she's picked out.
Yeah.
And the fun goes out of it. That isn't the way I want to do it. Well, we need to talk about something, Eli.
What is that?
Well, there's few desserts that are more common to this country than apple crisp. Mm-hmm. And as many people that make it, each of them make it differently. Some make it with a lot of nuts, some use oatmeal, some don't use oatmeal, some use brown sugar, some use white sugar, but they all have in common, usually, flour, sugar, and butter. Now I generally pour just a few drops of lemon juice in with the apples. If there's any time that lapses between doing the apples and getting them in cooking, this stops, and if the apples tend to brown, This stops them from browning. If the recipe calls for lemon juice, I subtract that lemon juice that I put in here. You just squirt it in the
I
eye.
did both eyes.
Bubbly. Is that brown on top yet? Action! Well, the first one's out of the oven, and we have a picture of that. And I think I used a little bit too much liquid in there, so it's apple crunch or something. We'll see how it tastes. But it isn't what the picture looks like. Now we have the other two recipes here. The recipe I have is my mother's old recipe that includes the apples with a little bit of water in there and some cinnamon, and that's it. A little vanilla. And this has flour, white sugar, and butter, and that's all. Nothing else. And Eli, why don't you describe yours?
Mine is similar. It's got nutmeg and cinnamon in with apples. And then in here it's just brown sugar, flour, and butter.
Okay, you didn't put any liquid in yours.
Nope, there's no liquid in mine.
So we'll find out whether this liquid is going to screw up like the last liquid did. We'll see. Okay, so we both have the pans here. I'll put my apples in here. I could have forced in a few more apples if I tried. My apples. There's that. Boil down a little bit. Quite a bit.
Yes.
Now, I used about a recipe and a half of topping for this recipe. Did you follow the recipe exactly?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, you always follow the recipe, Eli.
Well, not always. For this
I
one,
have-
I do.
I have a hard time following recipes. But I did pretty much close.
This one I usually do. But
Okay. Shall we?
I think so. Mine on the left.
And I'll put mine on the right.
That works.
There.
Oh, that was close.
There, we have those in there now. Put it on for 30 and see what happens, okay? Well, there you have 3 recipes for apple crisp. And we're gonna turn off the video and clean up the kitchen, and we'll be back when they're out of the oven, and we'll have a taste testing. I bought some really good vanilla ice cream
Okay.
to go with them.
Good.
And we'll sit here and have a tasting after they've rested for just a smidgen of a time. Where's the... 45 minutes. You're
Yeah.
not ready yet.
No. We're getting there, but
Are you ready?
yep.
Another 10 minutes. Overdid it a little.
We are going.
Well, what do you think, Eli? We got 3 of them out of the oven.
We did.
They're still a little warm, but we're going to go ahead and taste them and see what's up.
Yeah.
We're going to evaluate them based on the looks and on taste of the crisp and taste of the apples and an overall evaluation and see what we come up with.
Yeah.
Each of them had mistakes associated with them. Maybe only Eli's didn't, but my 2 had errors.
Got a little dark.
And so we will we'll give those an evaluation and see what we come up with. Okay.
We will. This one is mine. This
is
one is
America's
Test Kitchen.
Test Kitchen. That's Mother.
Yes. Yeah.
What should we go? This is Eli's.
This is mine. Yeah.
This is Eli's.
Yeah. Do
Now
my
you
best.
look at that, and the crisp is a good on top, and it's crunchy when it
Seems
came
to
out,
be.
and that apples are done. What do you think?
1 minute. That was hot.
I think so. It's really good.
I like it.
I think the combination of the crisp and the apples go well.
Yeah.
Did the apples survive, or were they pretty much dissolved?
They dissolved quite a bit, but I don't think it's bad. The topping is pretty good.
Yeah.
And this I
Very-
think
Very
had,
oatmeal-y.
yeah, and I like that. And okay.
Now this one is way juicy.
And well,
We lost a lot of the top to the juices.
yes, but it seems to have set up a lot.
Set up a lot.
Yeah, and this one, these have been out, the 2 ends, only maybe 10 minutes. This one, it's been about, what, 45?
Mhm.
So it's had a while.
This is a nice burnt flavor to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
But the apples are kind of gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost applesaucey.
Yeah. And kind of like has crushed down.
And the crisp is dissolved in the fat.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know this would qualify as a crisp.
Maybe
Maybe if I followed the recipe the next time, it'd be a good idea.
maybe. I'm gonna try a bit of the top here. Because what top is left seems pretty good. Mm-hmm. Can tell it's a lot of butter.
Now all of these have 1 stick of butter.
Really, they do.
1 stick in all 3 of them. There's an
Okay.
extra tablespoon or 2 at the bottom of that. Going to Mother Webb. Very appley.
I'm thinking this one.
You like this the best?
I think I do.
I think it's the most genuinely apple one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. And this one didn't have. This is the one that had the apple cider in it, correct?
Right. This one I think is more flavorful than that,
Yeah.
but it's not as truly appley.
Yeah.
What about this one?
This one. I like. I feel like there might be a bit much nutmeg in there.
With what?
A bit much nutmeg. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't
think that's
dislike
fine.
any of them.
This one is a little earthier because you didn't use white sugar, you just used brown sugar.
That's true.
And both of the top and the bottom is mostly brown
Yeah.
sugar.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
This
no
one
white
had
sugar.
only white sugar in it,
Mm-hmm.
which made it kind of genuine.
Yeah.
There's nothing fancy. There's no added this or added that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to score them overall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your first choice and why?
I think first choice is this because of the apple flavor.
It's the simplest.
Yeah. I think so.
There's no oatmeal in it or anything.
No, yeah. Well, I'd say, yeah. I'd say overall that wins. And from just what we've had, this would be second, because I don't know what that one would be. I like the flavor of that, but I don't know what it is. It's,
There's something wrong with it.
yeah,
It's me.
I don't know. This one
What?
had vanilla, correct?
What?
Did this have vanilla?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to put with this one first.
Okay.
I think that's the most genuine.
Okay.
I think the crisp is good. I like the oats.
Yeah.
I might say, well, I'd probably split the brown sugar and make it white and brown sugar, 50-50.
Would you do, like, do you mean in both? Half
Yeah.
white and half brown in both the top and the bottom?
I would.
Mm-hmm.
And this is second, and I like the appleness of this one. I'm sad about that one.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. 3 apple crisp recipes, each with their strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Recipes of all of these will be online. Just go to our YouTube channel. Well, I tell you, we come to the end of this special test in which we've had some success and failure,
Yeah.
but we did the best we could, right?
We did.
And as Oscar Wilde said, no great artist sees things as they really are. If he did, he would cease to be an artist. And that's the way we look at cooking, in the same way. Paul Prudhoe said another wonderful is, you don't need a silver fork to eat good food. And this is good food. So I hope you have a good evening, and we wish you all the best for the holidays.
Well, there you've seen our study in imperfection. We hope you've enjoyed it. Do you think they did?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, I tell you, instead of recuperating what the impact on each one of the 3, we're going to list those things that we found to improve your recipe for crisp. So here's number 1 is follow the recipe.
Okay.
Number 2 is
Use less liquid.
less liquid, really important. No more than 1/4 cup if you think the apples are a little hard. Number 3 has to do with butter. First off, what is it?
You want it cold. You don't want it warm.
That was a major area on my part. Cold butter, and don't knead the crisp too much. Knead the butter in until it's got pea-sized pieces and stop. Let's see, the next item was, in yours you had all brown sugar. What would you do next time?
Maybe do half brown sugar, half white sugar.
Yes, the white sugar works well. It protects the taste of the apples. The brown sugar makes it more rustic, so be balanced. And what did we learn about the time to cook it?
It takes longer than we thought, but not as long as we put it in for.
Well, our conclusion was about 45 minutes. Well, there you have it. We hope you've enjoyed our blunders and our mistakes. Have a nice day.